Hi there, how we doing today? My name is Mike Sieber, Certified Personal Trainer and Corrective Exercise Specialist. And in this video, I'm going to show you one of my favorite tools for teaching clients and people how to safely begin doing extensions and kind of cracking open the complete opposite of the position I'm in right now, which is kind of global flexion and pronation, which is a full body syndrome that is really becoming epidemic with all the crappy sitting and driving and texting and everything we're doing in this hunched over position. So a great way to start activating the nervous system, opening up the tissues, the muscles, getting some blood flow into this upper chest cervical region, and lengthening your abdominals and everything through your hips all the way down to your feet, is to start doing some extension exercises. But extensions can be pretty tough for people. It's why a lot of injuries happen in yoga, because people take extensions when their upper body and all these musculature, these big muscles like your lats and your hips are super tight. So when you go to take an extension, for example, and your lats are tight, you go to extend and you have these big muscles attaching into your shoulder, pulling you into this hunch position. It just puts even more force on your vertebrae and discs that are already compressed forward to the front from flexion. So it's really kind of an art, mastering good, careful brace extensions. So I like to use the Swiss ball for my extensions because I found that the Swiss ball, even though it's a little unstable, it's you can use a Bosu ball as well, the ones that are half flat. Those are actually probably the most stable way to do this exercise. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to show you one of the more kind of advanced ways to do it and how to get into it. A Swiss ball and a Bosu ball allows your spine to have some support and maintain a natural curve just a bit, which is really a good and effective thing when you're doing extensions. So I'm going to try my best to get my big body in this small space I'm in to show you how I do this. So basically, you want to undo flexion. So when you undo flexion, I like to think of it like this. Your hip flexors and your hips are overactive. So that means glutes. We need the glutes to be engaged to brace effectively and to extend. So what you're going to do is position the ball right on your tailbone or your glutes. Walk your legs out and keep your chin tucked. Stay in a little bit of a crunch, like kind of tuck your chin in, look at your belly button. I like using that cue to make sure people don't just send their neck flying back right away. Keep your feet right underneath your knees so you're stable. And what you're going to do is, as you start getting ready to let your neck come back into extension, is either take your arms and reach them overhead. If this feels okay, keep a little tension in the neck. Don't just let it hang back just yet. Now what you're going to do, I don't know if you can see this, what you're going to do here is squeeze your glutes up and press your heels. Now this stabilizes your lumbar and sets you up in a good position to begin stretching through the abdominals and reaching back. Now you're going to take your shoulders. Now a lot of times I'll see with people is their shoulders, and this girl is super tight and it's hard for them to do. So you have to be careful. This might be a little much for you right off the bat. You're going to take your arms, bring them up overhead, and as you can see, my neck is supported. So when you're realigning your discs and getting your discs to go back into the proper space, you want to remember with the neck, you don't want a big kind of like huge, you don't want to close the gaps like this. You want to just have a little bit of a nice extension, and then focus on reaching through the lats and shoulders and getting them to release a little bit and just breathe. Inhale, exhale, keep squeezing the glutes up, stay supported. Now to come out of it, bring your hands behind your head, tuck your belly, walk your feet up, and do a little crunch up out of that. It's also a great way to do full range of motion crunches. Now, that was one of the easier variations. Now, a way to kind of get more of an abdominal stretch in that is to walk your feet out, roll back the same way, all right? Get it set, point your feet, blast your heels towards the ground, flex your feet up, or rather point them, and then come back. I'm taking a little more of an extension here. Be mindful that I do these a lot. I'm used to it. So my neck is supported, it's not too extended here. I'm breathing into the front of my neck and my chest and reaching the arms. Again, you're keeping some tension in the glutes when you do any extension. I like to keep some tension there. I don't like to completely relax them. Deep breaths into the belly. I'm getting a nice abdominal lengthening. Getting some fresh blood and oxygen. You can really feel the blood flow you get to your brain and your head when you do that, because we're in this position where our cervical flexors and extensors are all knotted up and tight. that we never really open it up and get that extension. The neck has a very large degree of extension. If you ever looked up at the sky, you know, your neck is so mobile and has these great ranges of motion that we never really safely get into. So there you have it. There's how you do your Swiss ball extensions. Go over it one more time. First variation I recommend starting with is rolling down, feet stay underneath your knees, heels underneath the knees. Squeeze the butt, keep the chin tucked, slowly roll back. This is a beginner. Your head supported, you're not really too far back. Begin reaching the arms. If that's too tight, just keep them overhead and try and get a little, you know, kind of opening here through the lats. Breathe into the chest, squeeze the butt up, press up right through your midfoot. Come out of that. The second variation is to point the feet. Get a little stretch to the abdominals. Take a little more of an aggressive extension there. So, always remember, be careful when you do your extensions. If you're just too wobbly and all over the place on the Swiss ball, make sure your Swiss ball is filled up properly. Number one, should be pretty tough. When you're at the gym, make sure, start where you're at with extensions. You need to start where you're at. These Swiss ball extensions are great, but only if you're able to kind of stabilize it, get your glutes, get everything stretched. It should always feel good. It should never feel like you strained your neck or went too far into the extension. Remember, deep belly breaths is the goal here. Just hang out there for, great way to hang out there for, I usually stay in them for about 30, 45 seconds and come out of it and maybe go back in for another round or two if I'm feeling it. So there you go. It's a great way to safe way to perform extensions. Get some ranges of motions that are locked up. It can help a lot with back and neck pain if you really practice these and begin to understand the mechanics behind them. So thanks for watching. My name is Mike Sieber. I will talk to you soon. Make sure to check out my site, thefunctionalbody.com, and sign up to my newsletter. You'll receive more videos, articles, and techniques on how to be happy and healthy holistically. Thanks.